Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everybody. My name is miahtheking, and you know the old saying, when life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic. Now then, today we're taking a look at a game released some time ago on Steam called Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, released not in early access and selling for $50 American. I know this game has been out a little while, and you're probably wondering why I waited this long to do a review on it. Anyway, I've decided to do it. Now, I personally love this game, but that doesn't mean it's perfect, and we're going to go into all that as long as you're patient enough to stick with me through the video. So basically, in this game, your old pa used to live on this farm, and I'm pretty sure he passed away and then gives it to you. So you travel from the big city to take over the family farm and grow a new life here. Awfully similar to Stardew Valley, right? Well, keep in mind that this is a remake of a game from like 20 years ago, so technically they did it first. Anyway, yeah, now you live on the farm and do what farming simulators do best. Waste your time. As always, we'll take a look at the good, the bad, followed by my overall recommendation and final thoughts, alright? So up first for the positives, for me at least, is the art style. It's quirky, it's cute, it's well balanced, and overall I think it works really well here. It's not some super duper intense next-gen graphics, but it's meant to be a cute quirky game, and so the cute quirky art style helps it here. It's nice on the eyes, it has great color contrast and blending, good color schemes, good attention to detail, and so on. All around I think it looks really nice, especially for the type of game they're going for here. Up next is the sound. Again, since they're going for the quirky, cute style here, the sound effects are the same. Cute little bleeps and bloops and whatnot for the sound effects. The music is also super pleasant and relaxing, and honestly, I could just listen to that all day. There's no voice acting, though, so, keep that in mind. But overall, it sounds exactly like it looks, and I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, listen to this music. How beautiful is that? This is what I'm talking about. The next positive is the tutorial aspect of the game, and I'll just go ahead and mention the stability as well. The stability is pretty stable here. I mean, not once did I experience a bug or a glitch or a crash or anything. I think the biggest issue is that once every few days my frame rates will just drop randomly, but they almost always fix themselves within a couple of seconds, so that's not really that big of a deal, and I don't really feel it needs to be mentioned that much. As for the tutorial, it's very well written, it's within the world, and the story teaches you things you need to know when you need to know it, and even allows you to go back and reread the simplified notes in case you forgot something, so it's pretty legit, and it was much appreciated. And finally is the gameplay. Now the gameplay is still going to be in the negatives mostly, but I still want to make mention of a very special feature in this game that I've yet to see any other game do. There is a time-lapse system, and what I mean is that in this game you will literally watch your character start off as a young adult, then get married, have kids, watch as those kids grow up, and watch as you get old, and have those kids leave the homestead to go become their own person while you slowly grow closer to death. Watch your character grow into a senior and eventually pass on the farm to your child as your father did to you. I mean, this aspect is so cool and so intuitive that I really wish more games had this level of dedication and creativity. I mean, I just love the idea of this, and I wanted to make special mention of it. I mean, I wish My Time at Sandrock or My Time at Portia or Stardew Valley had this kind of thing, I want to be, I'm a parent in real life, and if I'm going to play one of these life simulator games, I want to watch as my kids grow up and take over the family business, you know what I mean? I want more diversity in the whole raising your family to take over the business kind of aspect. These games have all these relationships with other people that you can build up, and then you'll get special rewards or whatever, but why not include that same system with the family that you can create in the game? See what I mean? I would love to see more stuff like that, and that's why I wanted to make special mention of it here, because here, they actually do something like that. You can even choose how your child is raised, which will eventually choose what kind of path they set out on later on in life when they're adults. I mean, that is cool. That's intuitive. Why don't more games do that? Okay, so that's all I got for the positives. Up next is the negatives, but before I go into that, did you know that I have a new segment on my YouTube channel? It's called Same Day Reviews. What's that? Well, it's simple. You make a suggestion on my channel on any video of a game that you would like me to take a look at, and I will review it and get the video posted that same day, just for you. The only caveat? If I already put out a video that day, it's going to come out the next day. Cool, huh? Also, the only way my channel gets more views is if it gets more views. So, you guys watching and sharing the video to get me more views is going to help me get more views and going to help support my channel. That is a real thing. It's a real paradox with YouTube. You need views to get views. Alright, back to the negatives. The very first thing that I have a major problem with this game is the controls. The PC controls are absolute shite. They are awful. They make no freaking sense. It's probably the worst control scheme I've ever seen in a PC game. You will have to play this game with a controller, or else you just won't be able to play because the awful scheme it will literally drive you insane. How did this happen? How is this possible? Why would they mess up something so damn vital if you're deciding to sell it on Steam? It literally boggles my mind how bad these controls are. So if you don't have a controller to play with, don't even bother. Just pass on it immediately. You could even stop watching the video right now. You're done. If you don't have a controller to play this on, just toss it in the trash. You're done. Don't worry about it, because you cannot play it with PC controls. The next thing I just have to make mention of is the price. This game is selling for $50 freaking, and I don't think in any way, shape, or form that this game is worth that much. I mean, it's a remake of a game that's like 20 years old, and other than a cool aging mechanic, it is not worth it. That price tag is simply ridiculous, and I can't condone it. This game is maybe worth $30, with how little is there, with how little there is to do in this game. They're basically offering you the bare bones minimum farming simulator game with a cool aging mechanic, and they're charging you almost a full price of a brand new AAA game. That's so wrong on so many levels. I can't even I can't even put it into words. The next negative is the gameplay. There's a whole lot of problems with the gameplay, so I'm going to do my best to try to organize my thoughts so I can get it out so you guys can understand it. First of all, everything in the game it takes forever. Like, it takes forever to clean your animals. It takes forever to love your animals. It takes forever to dig or to water plants or just anything. And yet, even though it feels like everything is taking so long, you are still going to find yourself done with your daily chores before noon every day. So, it's either a problem with the gameplay or the time passing mechanic or something. Everything takes too long to do and feels like actual chores, but then once you're done with them, you have absolutely nothing else to do and end up sitting around waiting all day for nothing. You'll go find more boring things to do just to pass the time. I mean, I get my chores done before noon, and then I go and dig dirt for pennies each day. I guess what I mean to say is that during the first few hours of your day, and I'm talking in-game hours, not real-life hours, the game is interesting enough to keep you from being bored, but after that, it becomes very boring very quickly. I mean, the whole point of the game is to be a farmer, take care of your animals and harvest their produce. Plant and take care of your crops. But this process is done so quickly, and it's got so many annoying steps that take forever, that the whole thing feels both fun and annoying at the exact same time until you're done. Then it's just boring, sitting around doing nothing. I mean, what is there to do in this game besides the farm work? Well, you can dig in dirt for ancient artifacts. It's boring, tedious, takes forever, and you'll get a couple thousand gold at most for your efforts. You could fish, again, boring and tedious and super easy, where you just have to hit the button once and then he does the rest of it. And again, if you did this all day, you could make a couple thousand gold. Or you can just go talk to random villagers who say the exact freaking same thing over and over and over again. So that is pointless and boring. The town has nothing interesting in it at all, so there's nothing to explore. It's a small map, so there's nothing to go do. They had me a little bit like, oh, there's a pathway into the mountains where you can go. It takes 6 hours of your day, but you can go see new towns or whatnot. And I was thinking, oh, okay, so maybe that's what I got to do to pass the time. But no, you go into that little cavern, you go in that pathway, and it gives you a sentence like, this will take a couple hours. Do you want to do it? Yeah, it takes 6 hours. And then it's just like, oh, I didn't know that there was a church over there, in dialogue only, big black screen, and then you come back and 6 hours have passed. So, like, what the hell? You couldn't even create a small new town or a couple of those that I could just go and visit myself to help pass the time, to give some unique items or unique people or something? I mean, come on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all to do. You could go waste 6 hours of in-game time reading a sentence, or you can go dig for dirt, or you could go fishing, which is the most boring, uninteractive fishing ever. That's literally all you can do besides your daily farming chores. So it's just boring. So those three negatives, they're pretty big ones, and you got to make sure that you take them seriously, because each freaking one of them is a deal breaker for me. Here's the thing. Overall thoughts. The game is decent. I'd say it's a fairly average farming simulator game with a unique aging mechanic. Is it worth $50? Hell no. Is it worth your time? I mean, if you find it on sale for 50% off or something, then yeah, sure, pick it up and enjoy it. I mean, of course, there's the nostalgia of the game. I mean, when it first came out some 20 years ago, I was playing it like crazy. So for me, the nostalgia aspect was enough for me to buy it and enjoy it. But man, I'm having some buyer's remorse. But if you aren't buying it for nostalgia and you're looking for a good farming simulator game that's different and new, then you're definitely going to want to either pass on this one or at least wait until that price tag drops. I mean, how can you sell this game for $50 and have such awful controls? How can you have such a boring and empty world with nothing to do in it and nothing really added to it after 20 years and still charge me $50? It feels like a ripoff. I mean, is this game fun? It can be. And does it have a lot of the same farming mechanics that we like to play and simulate? Yeah, sure. But is it worth $50? No. Should you get it? Yes. But only if it's discounted. 50% or more, because it's just not worth that price tag. Alright? Okay, so that's all the time I got for this episode, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you all again on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you all farewell.